Now let's talk about Lizzo. So during a recent interview with Howard Stern, Lizzo addressed the hurtful comments from online critics who said that she makes music for white people, which she also addressed on her HBO Max documentary Love Lizzo, which I have been praising this show. I believe I talked about it on an episode recently of the show. So definitely, if y'all don't get it, maybe I talked to the production. I don't remember, but I remember I mentioned it. So definitely check this out. Check out the show. I mean, the documentary if you can, because I definitely enjoyed it. Now, when asked how the criticism made her feel, I should say that we have a clip, don't we? So, if we have the clip, I would like for y'all to watch this, and then we'll come back with my opinion on said topic. So, roll the clip. Roll the clip. Roll the clip. Roll the clip, clip, roll the clip.
Will say, you write music for white people. And I'm sitting there going, you just got to write the music that's in your head. You don't know who's going to respond to it. You don't know if black people, white people, you don't know who is going to, it's an unfair criticism. And it only goes towards stifling whatever you have inside of you. I mean, it's a hurtful thing to hear that, right?
Very hurtful. Only because like I am a black woman and I feel like it really like challenges like my identity and who I am and diminishes that, which I think is really hurtful. And then on the other end, it's like I'm making funky, soulful, feel-good music that is so similar to a lot of black music that was made for black people in the 70s and 80s. And, you know, and then on top of that, my message is literally for everybody in anybody. And I don't, you know, try to gatekeep my message from people. So all three of those things for me, I'm just like, you don't even get me at all. And I feel like a lot of people truthfully don't get me, which is why I wanted to do this documentary. Because I was like, I feel like y'all don't understand me. Y'all don't know where I came from. And now I don't want to answer no more questions about this shit. I want to show the world like who I am.
And I'm with her on that. And I feel like you want to know something. If y'all want to get to know Lizzo, then watch Love Lizzo on HBO Max, because she lays it out all out for you on how she was raised within her family. Her father was very pro black and educated her on a lot of black history, because you know a lot of the schools won't do it, or when they do the cliff notes, they don't even give y'all the real tea. So luckily enough, because I had it with my family too. Like my father was very much prominent on us, like growing up, me, my brother, and my sister. I'm a middle child. On going to the library, we had to pick out we could pick out a book we wanted to read, and then we had to pick out a history book. So I read the encyclopedia front to back, all of them from A to Z. I was that nerd growing up. I was that kid. I was reading everything. I was engulfed in books. I always read a lot of books on Black history. That's why I've always been very pro-black in a lot of stuff that I say, and I'm always reminding people, bringing up Black history and a lot of topics, especially when it comes to music. Because the one thing about this industry is trying so hard to erase Black culture from music, and they'll put white folks in the place. Or when Black people do certain genres, y'all want to keep them in a certain genre and think, well, that's not Black music. Oh, you trying to be white? Or like y'all need a low history. Rock and roll was created by Black people. Hip hop was created by Black people. The sounds of reggaeton comes from Black music. A lot of the music y'all listen to is rooted in Black culture and Black music. Rock, like I said, house music. Like Beyonce had to come out with a whole album, Renaissance, to remind y'all that house music comes from Black folks. New York and Chicago. That's the root of it. There's different little genres and stuff that's mixed in, but yes, a lot of music, all them drums that y'all hear, all roads lead back to Africa. I know it may be hard for y'all to believe, or y'all want to believe a lot of these industry people who are too fucking lazy to want to support and promote Black artists, but we'll put out an Adele and a Justin Timberlake and all that shit for y'all because it's easier easier way for them to sell products. It's easier to put a high yellow person or white person in a position because it's easier to sell them. But for those people out here who are just trying to say that Lizzo makes music for white people, y'all don't know shit about music. Y'all really don't. And this is like what SZA said it's disrespectful to box her into one musical genre. Like she's going through that too. She said, "I'm so tired of being pegged as an R&B artist. I feel like that's super disrespectful because people are just like, oh, because you're black, this is what you have to be, like put in a box, and I hate that. With songs on this album, it's supposed to help round out the picture and the story." And she also continued by saying, "It's very lazy to just throw me in a box of R&B. I love making black music, period. Some of it is just full of energy. Black music doesn't have to just be R&B. We started rock and roll. Why can't we just be expansive and not reductive?" And that's where in the conversation they also bring up Lizzo basically said the same thing, where she was basically talking about the existence of genres is racist, and it is. That's what a lot of times the history of the industry, they try to put people in categories because they wanted to segregate music, and they still do that. And this is what you said. I think if people did any research, they would see that there was race music and then there was pop music. And race music was their way of segregating black artists from being mainstream because they didn't want their kids listening to music created by black and brown people because they said it was demonic and yada, yada, yada. So then there were these genres created almost like code words, R&B. And then, of course, eventually hip hop and rap was born from that. I think when you think about pop, you think about MTV in the 80s talking about we can't play rap music or we can't put this person on our platform because we're thinking about what people in the middle of America think. And we all know that that's code for. So, yes, that's what all that was. The industry only cares about middle America. It's the same thing when I said last week about The Voice, where The Voice was accused of being racist because you saw it was always, and it always seems like that every year. Blake Shelton's people always winds up winning or becoming in the top, and then the people of color get in the bottom because they're a lot of these stations, these shows, the industry caters to middle America. And when we say cater to middle America, a bunch of people that don't know shit about shit, that are deeply racist and only want to produce their own. So they're going to always try to push a country artist. But we know at the end of the day, nobody ain't going to remember who won the fucking Voice anyway. So